Have you ever felt like you've lost the same 20 plus pounds over and over again? You work hard, you stick to the plan, you see results, and then the weight just kind of creeps back on. After age 50, losing weight and keeping it off can feel even harder. In this video, I'm breaking down exactly why weight regain happens, especially after menopause, and most importantly, how to fix it for good. Stay with me until the end because I'll be sharing the most overlooked reason behind weight regain that traditional weight loss programs don't address. And if you skip out early, you're going to miss that crucial piece of the puzzle that makes all the difference. I'm Dr. Morgan Nolte, founder of Zivli, where we help you lose weight, keep it off, and get healthy with a low insulin and inflammation lifestyle. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss out on tips that help you live a healthier, happier life. To prove there is hope to lose weight and keep it off after 50, I want to share a quick story with you from one of our Zivli members, Beth. She had tried everything, including but not limited to the grapefruit diet, the chicken and green beans diet, the Special K diet, the tuna fish diet, slim fast, very low carb, 900 calories a day, the fruit only diet, and a food combinations diet. I'm guessing that you can relate when she said that she lost weight with each of these, but it wrecked her metabolism, as you're going to learn more about in this video. When she got to a point in her life where she really wanted to lose weight and keep it off, she said, "I was desperate because I had tried everything. I was eating what I thought was healthy. Whole grain breads, whole wheat pasta, low fat everything, and nothing was working. I just took my doctor's word, and every year she would say, 'Excellent labs, you don't have to change anything.' But when I looked at my labs, I could see that I was pre-diabetic and had been since 2006. Protein was the biggest game changer for me. When I started upping my protein, my sweet cravings left, and I couldn't believe it. I didn't think that I would lose weight because I was eating so much. It was so different. When I finished a meal before, which was a big salad, I was hungry. I was never satisfied. And now with that big amount of protein and low carbs, I was never hungry and the weight just kept coming off and it did not come back on. This is the first time in my life my weight has stayed off. I've lost 20 pounds and have been stable for a year. The last 10 are so hard to lose, so the fact that it stayed off all that time is remarkable. And I was full and enjoying food. I wanted to enter my 70th decade at my best. I am so much stronger than I used to be because of the strength training. It's life-changing. When I had my hip replacement surgery, I knew I wanted to go into it strong. My recovery was so much quicker because I was stronger. 2.5 months after surgery, I was able to run up over 200 steps like Rocky on vacation and bike with my family up and down hills. I was so grateful I found Zivli because I never wanted my children to have to plan something that mom can do. I want to be able to do most of the things that they can do. That was my why. Making these lifestyle changes has re-energized me. I know now I can go into my 70s in my best spiritual, emotional, and physical health because they all go together. Give yourself this gift. There is an epidemic of infobesity, so I had to let all that go and trust the Zivli program. It was a wise choice and paid off. Isn't Beth's story just incredible? You can do this, no matter your age or what you've tried in the past. If you put your mind to it and have the right strategies that work for this phase of life, you will succeed. Let's start by talking about the two types of diets. The first is a short-term thing that you do, like a meal replacement program or a trendy restrictive diet. Now, the second is a way in which you habitually live, your lifestyle. No matter what short-term diet you try, your body's always going to return to its set point weight if your habitual way of eating and living doesn't change. That's because weight is controlled by hormones, not willpower. The only way to lose weight, keep it off, and improve your health is through a low insulin and inflammation lifestyle. It's not just about cutting calories or exercising more, despite what you hear in the magazines and from your doctor. Your hormones change as you age, leading to a decline in muscle mass and a rise in insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is the root cause of obesity and other chronic diseases like heart disease, diabetes, and dementia. If you're anything like our Zivli members, you may have known that you had excess weight, but overall thought you were pretty healthy, right? Then all of a sudden it's one thing after another, and now your doctor is talking about prescribing you all these medications that you don't want to take. These aren't just conditions of aging. They're conditions of insulin resistance. Often excess weight is one of the first signs. The bad news is that when it comes to insulin resistance, The old adage, if nothing changes, nothing changes, is simply not true. With insulin resistance, if nothing changes, things get worse. And the longer you go without changing your lifestyle, the more potential disease, medications, and complications you will have. And my guess is that you have way better things to do with your time and your money and your energy than spend them on being sick, don't you? Now, the good news is that you can lose weight and keep it off by reversing insulin resistance for good with a low insulin and inflammation lifestyle, not a short-term diet. This lifestyle must include all 4 pillars of what you eat and when you eat, which is nutrition, movement, sleep, stress management, and most importantly, these pillars must stand on a strong foundation of mindset. Without a strong, resilient mindset, you're going to be relying on willpower, which is a fleeting and limited resource, isn't it? Now, with this foundational understanding of insulin resistance and its role in stubborn weight loss and disease in mind, let's explore the 3 primary reasons that you regain weight that you've lost. And these are all hormonal changes going on in your body. The first compensation your body makes from chronic calorie restriction is slowing your metabolism down immediately and indefinitely. I call this the yo-yo diet metabolism. Now, if you've dieted multiple times and feel like you gain weight easily, even when you're eating very little, this is likely happening to you. You may feel confused about how you can eat so little, but still weigh what you do, right? When you lose weight the wrong way, through just restricting calories and burning more, you're not focusing on maintaining muscle mass through adequate protein intake and strength training while losing weight, and your metabolism will slow down. Some studies show by 10 to 15%. Let's use the example of someone who was once 150 pounds, but then life happened, right? I hear that one all the time. Life happened. Let's pretend that this woman struggled to lose weight after having kids. Okay. And the stressors of raising children, working, caring for aging parents, essentially putting the wants and needs of other people above her own health for decades, led to her gaining 50 pounds, and now she's 200 pounds. And 200 pounds is what she called her ugly weight, the weight she swore she would never go above. So motivated by this fear, she is determined to lose 50 pounds and get back to a healthy weight of 150. Now, for the record, I'm not saying that any weight is ugly. I hate the word ugly in general. I don't use it, but I have actually heard someone use that term before. And I'm guessing if you struggle with weight loss or body issues, you also struggle with negative and critical thoughts like these. But here's the problem. When she was originally 150, she could eat 2,000 calories a day and maintain her weight. But after her strict diet plan, her metabolism slows, and now she can only eat 1,700 calories a day and maintain 150 pounds. So when I say strict diet plan, I want you to think of any of the following ways that people diet to lose weight, like Optavia, Nutrisystem, Jenny Craig, 1,200 calories a day, meal replacement shakes, etc. Even weight loss medications like Ozempic and Wegovy can cut your appetite so much and have a very similar metabolism slowing effect due to a loss of muscle mass while you're losing weight. So let's say that she reached her weight loss goal of 150 pounds and was so grateful that she could stop her diet now. Let's say she was doing Optavia, okay? So now not only will she be saving money because she's not spending it on diet food, or maybe she was doing a weight loss medication that she doesn't have to pay for anymore, and she can finally eat what she wants again, right? Wrong. This is what I call the slide. She slowly starts to slide back into her old ways of eating and eventually regains the 50 pounds again. So she goes on yet another diet and her metabolism slows even more. Now she can only maintain 150 pounds by eating 1,400 calories a day. And if the slide starts to happen again, she'll regain weight faster than the last time. If you can relate to this yo-yo diet struggle, type yes in the comments and let me know what diet you are trying. So here's the real kicker. What I think is the saddest part of all of this is your metabolism can stay slower for years, even indefinitely after a calorie-restricted diet that doesn't preserve muscle mass. This is one primary reason why weight regain is so common, because people keep going back to the short-term diets that compromise their long-term health and muscle mass, and they slow their metabolism, making whatever weight they lose nearly impossible to keep off. Another misconception about weight loss is that calories in and calories out are independent variables, meaning if you eat less, you will still burn the same amount of calories, and this isn't true. Calories in and calories out are actually dependent variables. They depend on each other. The more you eat, the more you will want to burn, and the more you burn, the more you will want to eat. Think about it. There's a reason that you're hungry after a long bout of exercise or heavy yard work. You just burned energy and your body wants to replace it, right? So what actually happens when you have less calories coming in? Your body will naturally reduce calories out or physical activity levels. Just ask anyone who's white-knuckled their way through a very low-calorie diet or whose appetite was drastically reduced from a weight loss medication. Their energy was zapped. They didn't even have energy to exercise. A calorie deficit is needed for weight loss, but not so extreme that you don't still have the energy to exercise, which is crucial for maintaining muscle mass as you lose weight, and that will help prevent that metabolic slowdown. When you're following one of those very low-calorie diets, your body adapts by making you move less. You might find yourself sitting more, fidgeting less, or feeling sluggish. This happens because your body is trying to conserve energy. This is why so many people feel exhausted on restrictive diets. And if you're taking medications like Ozempic or Wegovy, you may notice this even more, because while they help suppress appetite, they don't solve the issue of low energy. The third mechanism behind weight regain is an increase in the hunger hormone ghrelin. When you lose weight, your body increases ghrelin, making you feel hungrier. And this next stat is going to blow your mind. This increase in ghrelin isn't just temporary while you're losing weight. Elevated ghrelin levels can persist for up to a year following weight loss. So have you ever finished a diet and found yourself ravenous afterward? That's ghrelin at work. This is one of the major reasons why traditional dieting doesn't work for long-term weight loss, because your hormones are working against you. So how do we fix this? The key is not just reducing calories, but managing your hormones. And this means eating in a way that keeps insulin and inflammation low, engaging in movement that preserves muscle mass, and prioritizing sleep and stress management. And by the way, this lifestyle doesn't require perfection. That doesn't exist. That's not sustainable, right? If you can do the right things 80 to 90% of the time, that's going to be good enough. And I call this structured flexibility. Without the flexibility to have your favorite foods every now and then without the guilt, you're always going to feel like you're on a diet. And your mind will want to sabotage you and throw you into these extremes and these all or nothing mindsets, which ultimately backfire, don't they? This is exactly why I created our Zivli program. It is a sustainable weight loss and health solution. It's not about extreme restriction or deprivation. It's about creating a lifestyle that you can enjoy. Now, here's the part that most people overlook. Weight loss is a two-sided coin: strategy and mindset. Now, I know mindset is such a broad word, but I'm going to break it down into what it means related to long-term weight loss. Most people focus on the strategy, right? Like a classic example of this is someone who just wants me to tell them what to eat and how to exercise. And I can do that, right? But if you don't address the mental weight, like the limiting thoughts and beliefs that cause self-sabotage, you're going to continue to struggle. Mental weight includes things like the all or nothing mindset, negative self-talk, like the lady who had an ugly weight for herself, perfectionism, procrastination, excuses, the list goes on and on. I heard a great quote recently that said, "You don't need more time, you need less excuses." If you constantly criticize yourself, your brain believes it. So you must learn to shift your mindset, catch your thoughts, and change your thoughts. Only when you learn to do this, when you learn how to problem solve, be resilient, be proactive about potential obstacles, can you really change your habits for good. Only when you learn how to change your thoughts can you change your emotions. And then ultimately that will change your actions. Otherwise, your thoughts will continue to sabotage your very best efforts. You're going to continue to be frustrated because you know what to do, but you're still not doing it. You see, there's a big difference between knowing how and being able to do something consistently. Knowing how is one thing. That means that you have knowledge, which is a great start, but you might not have the understanding or insight to consistently apply that knowledge in a way that produces meaningful and lasting results. So consider riding a bike. You can read a book about riding a bike or watch a YouTube video with someone riding a bike, or actually have somebody there with you in person showing you how to ride a bike. You can know all the steps required to ride the bike. You get on, you put the helmet on, you pedal, you balance, but that doesn't mean you can ride a bike. You don't become able to ride a bike until you actually do it, until you actually try and fail and have to find that balance in your own body. Just because you have a head full of knowledge about how to lose weight and be healthy doesn't mean that you're going to be able to do those things consistently. That is a skill that gets to be learned, and that's what we help you do inside of our Zivli program too. Our program gives you the bridge from knowing how to lose weight and actually losing weight and keeping it off for good. We do this by teaching you how to live a low insulin and inflammation lifestyle. Like, we get the strategy right, but we also focus on the mindset side of things. Another way to look at this is like you're driving with one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake. The foot on the gas may be the strategy that has worked short term in the past, but the foot on the brake is your mindset. And if your mindset's crummy, you're going nowhere, okay? The foot on the gas is the dieting, the exercising, you're burning yourself out, but there's that foot on the brake, and you can't get anywhere without letting your foot off the brake. And sometimes it's not really about doing more exercise or dieting more, that kind of stuff. It's about releasing those negative and critical thoughts so that the actions you're taking can actually move you forward. You can also think of it like a flat tire, like the 4 pillars are nutrition, exercise, sleep, stress. But if the tires are flat and you got a crummy mindset, you're still not going to go anywhere. Our Zivli program will teach you the long-term low insulin and inflammation strategies and the mindset skills necessary to take your foot off the brake or to pump up your tires, whichever one you prefer. Now, enrollment for our Zivli program opens only a couple times a year. The next one is August 25th. So if you want to learn how to lose weight and keep it off by addressing insulin resistance and mindset, be sure to get on our wait list at zivli.com/join. Now, let me ask you, what is one mindset shift that you want to make to finally achieve lasting weight loss? Drop it in the comments below for me. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear Beth's full story, you can check out her interview next.